That was a really fun game, 3-point win. We know our next guest was probably pulling what remains of his hair out as they were trying to break the press. That the last couple of minutes took forever. But here we are, the Sweet 16 for the Syracuse Orange. Incredible. And we're joined by their Hall of Fame head coach, Jim Boeheim. Coach, how you doing, buddy? What's going on, man?
You know, we're still playing and isolated in Indianapolis, and we're very happy to be isolated here and still have an opportunity to play basketball when a month or so ago it didn't look like we'd be playing much basketball past the end of the season.
How disappointed were you? You know, and listen, Coach, that was a storyline. You know, the Syracuse, are they going to get in? Are they going to be on the wrong side of the bubble? Blah, blah, blah. When you flipped on Selection Sunday, like, honestly, in your heart, were you sure you were going 50-50? What were you thinking that night?
I had heard a lot about that we were going to be in from different places. You never know for sure, but I hadn't heard any negatives at all. And so I felt pretty good. But then when it goes a little later in the selection, you know, because it's everything. I mean, you know, there's 3 or 4 teams that get left out that could be in and could win. And when you know that, it makes it really more difficult because it's not just not getting in, but you know if you get in, you can win a game or two and maybe more.
Yeah.
So because we've done that, so it's just really hard. And you know, we've snuck in a couple of years and we've just been out a couple of years. So it's always a difficult time. And I keep thinking, man, we got to play better during the regular season, but we just haven't been quite that good the last few years. We've been okay. We've been a pretty good team, but you're in a tough league. You lose a couple games. Like this year, we had to go to Virginia, North Carolina, Duke. We had to go to Clemson. You know, those are all tough places to play in the league.
Yeah.
And, you know, we couldn't win there, but not a lot of teams could win there. So, you know, 3 of those teams were in the tournament. So it's hard, but we played good enough, and then at the end of the year we played really well. So I thought if we got in, we'd have a chance. But, I mean, you never know. You can play really well in a game here and lose. We played really well against West Virginia, but they still took the lead, and we had to make a couple tough shots to get back in front. And you know, some games you miss those shots. You miss a couple shots. I mean, we're shooting over 50% from the 3 and from the 2 in the 2 games in the tournament against 2 teams that were highly rated defensive teams. And I don't think we had a game all year where we shot over 50% from the 3 and the 2 against a good team. So we've really played pretty well here, but you can tell when teams go home, like Illinois. I mean, a lot of good teams have gone home. So,
you
know, you got to play well, and you got to sometimes be a little fortunate unless you're a great team. And there's only a couple. I think Gonzaga is a great team, and I think certainly Baylor's really close. And those 2 kind of separate. And then there's a couple other teams that are really good. But after that, I think anybody can win.
Yeah, no, and I got to tell you, Coach, you talk about indirectly, the ice in the veins of your players. I mean, how proud are you of your son? I mean, Buddy has been unbelievable. 30 in the first game and then 25 last night, and you heard the clip coming in, just drilling into people's mugs as well. How proud are you of your son at this stage?
Well,
it's pretty awesome.
I'm mainly proud of him because he made himself into a player. He was, I thought, a pretty good player coming out of high school, but he was rated about 300, which obviously we knew he wasn't that bad. We felt he was a fringe top 100 player, and if you're there, you can go from 90 to 30 in a heartbeat, just like you can go from 30 to 90 in a heartbeat. But he did the work. He worked out legendary workouts. He's been working out with our strength coach since 9th grade. He got up at 6 o'clock in the morning, worked out with our strength coach, did shooting with some of our players, did that all the way through high school. When we have a 3-game week, we give Sunday off always, and he will work out 2 hours with a strength coach and work out 2 hours with an individual workout guy or shooting. So, you know, he's earned it, and, you know, that's what makes it good. Not everybody works that hard. Most college kids do work hard now. It's kind of instilled in them. Mm-hmm. But he's gone the extra. So I think I appreciate that a little bit more. When coaches always, we're suckers for that guy that works hard, but at the end of the day, he's got to be able to play, too. We have a couple guys that work really hard that don't play because they're just not good enough yet, but hopefully they'll get there.
That's true.
Keep working.
Yeah, keep working. Otherwise, you're going to have to transfer. You're going to have to put yourself in the portal if you want to play. We're talking to Coach Boeheim.
4,000 people in the portal. So.
I know. It's got a lot of company, by the way, if you're looking to bounce and go to a different school. We're talking to the great Jim Boeheim. So you've got Houston coming up, the number 2 seed. And there was one image that really caught my attention at the end of the game, and it was your son not hugging you, hugging McNamara. Mm-hmm. And I'm watching that. I'm saying, man, I could just imagine, like, Buddy, maybe I have the age off by a year or two, but when Jerry was doing his thing for the Syracuse Orange, Buddy had to be about 4 years old.
He was really young then. He doesn't remember that. Jimmy was 4, and I think Buddy was just 1 or 2, but he's worked out with Jerry for 6 years now, and he understands how important Jerry is to him. Jerry's a great coach. He understands the college game. He understands shooters' mentality, and Jerry's just been great for our guards. He's a great coach, and has done an unbelievable job with Buddy, and Buddy trusts him, and they work out all the time. They really do. They have a special bond, and that's a great thing.
Do we, not to put the cart before the horse here, but, he's got the proper height. He's 6'6". I mean, he shoots the heck out of it. He's got an NBA chance, I would imagine. I mean, what's Buddy's NBA prospects, in your honest opinion?
Well, I think that's always hard. If you're not a great player, in other words, a top 10 or 15 pick, it's a crapshoot. Mm. You look at the kid Robinson, who didn't even start at Michigan his last year, is now starting for the Miami Heat. Mm-hmm. He's a great shooter, so they found a place for him. But most of those guys don't make it. It's very difficult to make it in the NBA. I don't think people realize how good the players are in the NBA. I do, because I worked with them. They're next level. And the amazing thing, they're really great players. They're so next level from the really good players in the NBA that you can't even appreciate it until you see them go against each other. Mm-hmm. And it's amazing when you see the Steph Currys and Kyries and those guys go against really good players. And it's night and day difference. And it's night and day between the really good NBA players and a little lower level, and then to the college level, it's a huge difference. So there's no making it for sure in the NBA, and I'm going to do everything I can for Buddy's mother to try to keep him in school. We'll see. We'll see what we can do.
Until he scores 30 again next week, or later on this week, I should say, against Houston. Coach, it's been a long time since you've been at the helm here, and you've been to a lot of Final Fours. You got the one championship, as we all know, Sweet 16s. I mean, you knocked Virginia out once. You upset me because I didn't think you guys were a good team. But that's Syracuse. When you don't think they're good, this is what happens to you. Mm-hmm. How long are you considering on doing this, Coach? I mean, are you thinking about the end?
I don't even think about it. People thought I was done at 65. And, they were telling in recruiting I was going to be gone. And every coach that said that is now not coaching where they were coaching. So,
that's great.
I'm still here, and I love coaching, and I really don't. I feel good. Health. I mean, I think it's a really ageist thing if you think you got to retire just because you're old.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't have to dig holes and run around and, work out. I mean, I just have to be able to talk. If I can talk, I can coach. Uh-huh. And I can do that pretty good. So I don't anticipate not coaching, and I don't think it's good to put an age on things. I mean, Warren Buffett's still the best at what he does, isn't he?
Yeah.
What's he, 90 almost?
Yeah, he's got 89, something like that. He's up there.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't put a limit on it.
That's smart. Hey, listen. Hey, Jim, by the way, Leonard Hamilton, he's in his early 70s. He just got the extension. Patino's showing those signs of slowing down. Who knows if he stays at Iona? Can you connect these dots for us? Because we talk a lot about how the mind of the student-athlete has changed, the psyche, how hard he could coach kids. You know what I'm talking about. Bring us back to, say, Pearl Washington, may he rest in peace, the great Pearl, the first true showman of the Big East, by the way. How you had to recruit him and your style then versus how you recruit a young player now. Has it changed very much or not at all? I'd love to hear you talk about that.
Not at all. You recruit the same way. You try to explain what you do, how you're going to use them, I mean, the difference, they all, of course, want to be in the NBA now. Even the guys that couldn't play in the, anywhere near the NBA, but they all want to be there. And every once in a while, a guy gets there that you think couldn't get there, like Jeremy Grant. Nobody recruited him. Mm-hmm. My sister lives in Washington, D.C., and she said, what are you recruiting this guy for? He's not even all city.
Wow.
And, now he's making $60 million and a really top-level NBA player. Mm-hmm. So everybody has a chance, and that's the one thing. You try to keep them focused and get their education and, try to keep them moving forward that way. And we've had guys go early that have come back and taken courses and working toward their degree and have gotten their degree. So, but every player wants to be there. But recruiting, they want to win, they want to play. That's what it's all about. And the sad thing about the portal is guys are leaving when they're playing and playing pretty well, but they don't like something that somebody said to them.
Yeah.
I mean, that's crazy. There's 40, 50 guys in the portal right now that would start almost anywhere in the country, but they were probably better off where they were in the long run. Mm-hmm. The vast majority of transfers it's been proven. If you look at it, we're better where they were. We're doing better where they were than where they transferred to, because it's not that easy just to go someplace and start playing. Because for one thing, if you're a pretty good player and I'm at a school where I need a couple extra guys, I'm going to take you just in case you might be able to help me. But if you don't help me, it doesn't bother me because I got other players.
Yeah.
So it's dangerous to transfer. I mean, I'm all for it. I've had guys transfer. It's been really good for them. And I've only taken a very few transfers. We have a transfer that came in from Illinois starting for us and doing great. So, I mean, it's not a bad thing. But I remember one year a team in our league, I won't mention the name, took 5 graduate transfers.
Wow.
Who all were starters where they were. Not one of them played at the school that they transferred to. Mm-hmm. Not one of them got off the bench. So it's dangerous when you start moving around. And now I know in the football situation, there's tons of football players in the portal that haven't got a scholarship to go someplace.
Yeah.
Well, so we know Syracuse football could use a few good players, Jim.
Well, maybe on the field, they're coming back. They're going to be a little better. Don't sleep on us. I think we're going to be a little better.
I got you. Well, listen, we had to get you. We had to get you on. I mean, not just for your son, who's stealing a lot of the headlines, but anytime we get Coach Boeheim on, Syracuse doing Syracuse things, it's the door's open for you. So, nice walking down the road, hitting a bunch of different topics. Have fun getting ready for number 2 seed at Houston. And one thing we know about the Orange, don't count them out. That's a mistake we've learned many times, Jim, no doubt.
Thank you.
Take care, guys.
Yes, sir. Jim Boeheim.
Be good, Jim.
Thanks for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe, and don't forget to hit that bell to be notified when we drop fresh content.